Right, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody watching this. My name is Paul, I'm also called Knickknack. I'm the brains behind Knickknack's Old Peculiar, the blog, behind Knickknack's Daily Teaser, the quiz, and behind a lot of strange, silly and uncanny movie and TV reviews, of which this will be one. I should add at this point, I would love it if you subscribed if you like the look of this review and want to see more of my stuff. You can hit that big red button as soon as you can. I also have information and links to various other bits and bobs I do in that corner there and on the end screens at the end. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for pressing the start button or the play button. And thank you for watching what I thought of the 2024 version of Nosferatu. Nosferatu, this new version, opens the show as the soon-to-be married Ellen, Lily Rose Depp, a young woman who's devoted to her husband-to-be, but praying for help and company from a mysterious guardian angel, only to be contacted by something we only see as a shadow on the billowing curtains and a wheezy, mysterious voice in the middle distance. The scene shifts to show us Ellen waking up the next day to her husband Thomas, Nicholas Hoult, on the day Thomas is due to head for work at Nokatse, his employers, and to do a job that they're asking him to do. The job in question is to complete the sale of the ruined Grunewald Manor to the reclusive Count Orlok, Bill Skarsgård. As Thomas's boss tells him, the Count is both reclusive, eccentric, and very insistent. Thomas go to meet the Count in his home in the Carpathian Mountains of Romania. The deal will be struck there. It's just not the deal the nervous young Thomas believes he's there to sign. Right, there are possibly a lot of things I should share with you about Nosferatu, but I should really do one thing first. I should tell you that this version of Nosferatu, excuse me, I should tell you that this version of Nosferatu is a remake of an original German film made back in 1922, a film itself that was an unauthorized version of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and something I caught back in 2017, I believe, or thereabouts. And while I found it interesting to watch, it is considered influential after all, I don't know that I was taken with the original version of Nosferatu. I've seen plenty of other film versions of Dracula, and I don't know, having seen them, if I was taken with this original version. It has some striking shots, of course it does. The various shadows on the wall as Shrek, as Orlok climbs up the stairs. The shot of him rising out of a shipborne coffin. Those are stuck in the popular mind as much as they've stuck in mind. But overall, I wasn't totally convinced, even though I know it's well thought of. So when I heard this Robert Eggers version had been made, a version that effectively was a remake of the original Dracula film, I felt I should see it to see whether such a thing could be an improvement on that original film. The question I have, was I right? Am I or was I right about this film being an improvement on its much revered, although unimpressive, original? I don't know that I can answer that, or at least not directly with a yes or a no. All I can tell you are the things that I saw in this film that make it either good or bad, or things that I felt made it good or bad. Let's start with the cast, shall we? Most of them are relative unknowns, at least to me. Granted, I know Lily Rose Depp is the daughter of Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis, that Holt plays Nux in Mad Max Fury Road. He's the, oh, what a lovely day, chap. That's Nicholas Hoult. And I know that Emma Corrin played Princess Diana in The Crown. I'm not saying they're totally unheard of, merely that I'm mostly unfamiliar with them. That said, they do their jobs and do them well. Just as an example, I felt that Depp's LP received pronunciation accent was well done, even though I'm told it's a relatively easy accent for Americans to pick up. She did, I felt, a better job of it than Keanu Reeves did in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Um, in fact, she did a better job of it, I'd say, than Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins, but there you go. She did her RP accent very well. The stars of the show were the more familiar names to me. Bill Skarsgård as the central villain, as the wheezing monster at the heart of the tale, as Count Orlok, was both on point and very distinct, and just as memorable as Gary Oldman's or Bela Lugosi's or Christopher Lee's take on Dracula, which is what Count Orlok is a version of. But where Oldman, Lugosi, and Lee were romantic anti-heroes, Skarsgård's a literal corpse. His performance is supplemented with grey skin, cataract-covered eyes, and in a scene where the Nicholas Hoult character opens up the Count's coffin, he's a body that's being eaten by maggots. I would say eaten alive, but that's not appropriate. The makeup, the maggots, and Skarsgård's asthmatic dialogue is absolutely wonderful to watch, and it reminds us that Orlok is exactly what it says on the tin. He's a corpse. Skarsgård's is not the only good performance in the film, although his appearance as the main villain is central and superb. To balance that, I think Depp and Holt's competent performances as Ellen and Thomas Harter were exactly that. They were very competently done. And as were Defoe and Innocent's performances as Dr. Von Franz, the Van Helsing character, and as Dr. Severs. Innocent, I think, was very well placed indeed and very well used as well. He's got a very distinctive voice that is quite unmistakable. You've heard it once, you'll hear it again, and it's beautiful to hear. Defoe, by contrast, I have to admit, and this is possibly an insult to the man because he does have a very good reputation. I've only seen Willem Dafoe in the 2002 versions of Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and its 2004 sequel and the 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home. And I really do suspect that that is my loss. Dafoe has one hell of a reputation, especially given it that he did such a good job in Spider-Man No Way Home. His is possibly the best performance in the whole film. A film full of very good performances. Does that mean I prefer his Spider-Man No Way Home performance? Yes, it does. He seems far more naturalistic and far less stilted in his Spider-Man efforts than he does here in Nosferatu. On the other hand, what he is doing in Nosferatu, and doing quite well, I think, is play not Van Helsing or Von Franz, we should call him, but he's doing his version of Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective or consulting mystic, in this case, complete with a outrageously huge pipe and a superb supporting performance from Ralph Ineson as Dr. Watson. Sorry, Dr. Severs. You have to see this film to see what I mean. It is a very good, very Holmesian performance. What else can I tell you? There's possibly either quite a bit or not a lot. The main point to get out of the way, though, let's talk about sex, shall we? I like sex. I don't think there's that many people that don't. And I suspect, like most of us, I'm not very good at it, but I try and make the effort when I get the chance, and the consenting company. Watching sex in a mainstream film is a slightly different matter, I think. Nosferatu has a few scenes that are blatantly sexual or of a mature nature. I wouldn't probably let my 14-year-old nephew anywhere near this film, at least not till he gets to about 30 odd at any rate. Nosferatu has a few scenes of a sexual nature in it, and while I appreciate that Nosferatu and the Dracula tradition it's part of is often used as a metaphor for forbidden desire and for the bad treatment of women by men, I also felt that these sexual scenes weren't necessarily unwelcome. I think the film was trying, in part, to be a critique of the coercive control of women by men, and that's going to include sexual control. But I certainly felt it was maybe a little bit too heavy handed, at least a little bit too heavy handed or in your face for my personal taste. It's justified, but I don't know if it was quite up my street. Right, just as a brief sidestep here, I should point out I usually use Apple's iMovie software to edit the video versions of the quizzes I do and the TV and movie reviews. I still intend to keep using it for those quizzes. I can work quickly with it. It uses less drive space than some alternatives, and frankly, I'm familiar with the user interface. I've been using versions of it for about 14 years now. Recently, though, just to mix things up, I downloaded the free version of DaVinci Resolve just to try and shake things up a little. I think I've got enough of a hold on of the basic things: audio and video fade-ins and fade-outs, green screen, compositive, transitions, wipes, to start using it on some videos. So I thought I'd take a few minutes to let you know that I'm using different software. So this video review will look different to others I've done. It's a new bit of software with a very new set, a new interview, a new interface, and quite a lot of new features as well. I'd appreciate any comments you have about the review and how it's made as well. Leave me a comment. I'd also like to thank the DaVinci Resolve Beginners group over on Facebook. You've been very helpful in learning how to use the basics of the software. Finally, what did I make of this new version of Nosferatu? Of this remade, reimagined, revamped version of one of early cinema's best known works? Now, bear in mind, I was underwhelmed by the original film, even though I will give that original credit for being an influence both on cinema and in general and on horror films in particular. And allowing for that, and the fact it's been a while since I've seen that original, it is 102 years old and I saw it about 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. It has to be said, I was underwhelmed by that original film. And I feel that the new version, this Robert Eggers version of Nosferatu that I've seen, I can't help but think this new version of Nosferatu is a very loving, very respectful recreation and does a better job of the storytelling than the original could do. I would suggest you go and see it. There's possibly going to be bits of it that will make you uncomfortable. It's a horror film after all, but it's a lot better done, I think, than other versions of Dracula. It's worth checking out, I think. Until next time, I will see you soon. Right, thank you for sitting through this admittedly rather messy video. I hope you've enjoyed my review of Nosferatu. If you've seen it and want to leave me a comment, please do. But as a final thing, I will ask you to please subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews like this. And if you fancy go the daily teaser, they'll be floating past at some point real soon. I will see you soon. Take care, have fun, be good, and don't get caught by an unexpected vampire. It may help.